Hey, it's Zoe. So I did a video recently discussing issues transgenders have using the restroom, specifically a student transgender in Missouri. If you haven't seen that video, it will be in the link below in the description bar, so click that link and watch that. But at the end of the video, I mentioned that I would do a separate video about the issues of being transgender I have to endure while using the restroom in public. This is going to be more specifically of the issues I had to endure in the beginning of my transition. So this is going to be that video about my personal experience of being transgender and the issues I have to go through while using the restroom every day. But I just want to let everyone know that, you know, the issues of transgenders using the restroom are there. And they should be taken seriously because there has been many events and situations where transgenders have physically gotten to altercations and has been physically hurt and been hospitalized just because they wanted to use the restroom and other people didn't want them to because they didn't feel that they had the right. So I just want to let everyone know that it is a real big issue, and if people just started changing their way of thinking and just open their mind that at the end of the day we are all people. We are all here just to live our lives as happy as possible, and I don't think using the restroom for 5 minutes should be an issue and should be anyone else's concern than my own. If I want to use the restroom, let me use the public restroom. It doesn't matter which one I go in, you know? So I started transitioning officially around 20. So about 20 years old, that's when I officially started transitioning. But I had issues using public restrooms, I mean, ever since I was in high school, I would say. There was incidents in high school where I would more prefer using the girls' restroom, and I did. And I got in trouble by the school authority, the principals, that I wasn't really allowed to use the women's restroom, and that was just kind of it. I think being transgender wasn't just as aware as it is today, as it is right now. So this happened about 7 years ago, and I just didn't do anything. I just kept using the men's restroom when I was completely desperate. I mean, when I was so desperate, like I had to use the restroom, but if not, I would just hold it out throughout the whole day until I went home. And you see that happen almost every day because transgenders sometimes are not allowed to use their preferred gender bathroom, and it isn't right. Like, we should be able to use the restroom for 5 minutes and be in peace. We shouldn't have scrutiny and get in trouble just for using the restroom. So that was more in high school. As I started to transition, and I would say in my unpassable years, that's when it was really hard. I'm not saying that it's any easier for me now than it was back then. I just have the documentation proof that I'm female, so legally no one can say anything. But we'll get into that in a second. I do want to quickly say that some transgenders, to be honest, have to go through discrimination, have to go through issues using the restroom their whole lives. Some transgenders will never be at that passable stage. Not downing anyone, not putting me on a higher pedestal, not putting anyone else on a lower pedestal. I'm just saying, matter of fact is, some transgenders unfortunately will never be able to just blend in with the public and never feel discrimination while using the restroom because they are technically not passable in the straight world society. And I remember when I was at the beginning of my transition, the unpassable stage, I never used the public restroom until I was desperate, and I just, you know, had to unfortunately use the men's restroom because I wasn't able to use the females. And how I know I wasn't able to use the females, I tried to go into the females many times before, and I would literally be stopped in front of the females' restroom, and they would say, in public settings, you are not allowed to use this restroom. The restroom that you need to use is right behind you, which was the males. And it happened to me many, many times. And you just feel horrible about yourself, you know? It puts a damper in your mood and your day, and it just gives you really, really low self-confidence. And that's not fair to us. You know, we already have so much scrutiny against society in general, and now we can't even use the bathroom in peace. It's just, it's not fair. And I had some incidents where employees of these places would be like, well, let me see your ID. And I would show them, and they're like, nope, like, transgender or not, it says male on here, turn around. And yeah, I just felt so horrible. I felt like, oh my God, I'm never gonna be at a stage in my life where I'm gonna be comfortable out in public, especially using the restroom. But sure enough, a year later, I started all my HRT, and I got my paperwork for my gender marker to change on my documents so fast. As soon as I was able to get those documents changed, I got them done right away, because I just felt like in my mind, if I was able to go use the women's restroom in public and I had identification proof that yes, I'm female, that no employee or just like no authority figure could deny me using the restroom. So that's how I kind of went on about it. And in all honesty, ever since I have legally changed my documents from male to female on my, you know, driver's license and social security, I really have had no further problems using the restroom as a transgender in public. And I really don't want people to put my passability or my physical looks into the equation, because I mean, what goes on through my mind when I go in public, you know, and how I feel different from society is just going to be the same as any other transgender. And you know, sometimes I still feel a little uncomfortable going in the women's restroom. Sometimes I won't speak because I know I have a lower voice, and I just don't want anyone to give me the wrong look. And in my personal defense, I just don't want to make a scene. I hate making a scene, and I just hate for conflict and commotion to go on. So that's my biggest thing. I just don't want to cause any conflict and commotion. And really, as a human being, I shouldn't even have to be worried about that. And if society got with the bandwagon that yes, transgenders are just human, we can use the restroom, that we should be rightfully using for our preferred gender, then it wouldn't be a problem, and I wouldn't have this issue about fearing using the public restroom, and fearing that I'm not going to be able to go to the bathroom when I desperately need to. So that was my little like story, my little take on, you know, my issues I had to endure when using the restroom while I was like in the beginning of my transition. And now I still don't like to speak in restrooms because I just don't want anyone to look at me the wrong way or just any commotion, because yes, in the back of my mind, I'm so thankful that I have all my gender markers changed. So just in case if something like that does happen, I do get in trouble for using the female's restroom, boom, bam, bam, I have female on my driver's license, that gender marker female, so you can't say shit, can't say squat. So that is good. So my tip for any transgenders, as soon as you can, please go get that gender marker changed on your driver's license at the least. Just so it's insurance for you to use your rightful gender bathroom, and just so you in your mind are almost at ease when you go in the restroom. You're like, you know what, just in case if something happens, here's my proof. You know, I don't need to go into the bathroom and then, you know, make a scene and don't have the proof to back it up, you know. So in my personal experience, when I got that, changed my marker, it was just a better experience for me to use public restrooms. So this is my little video I promised y'all about my issues I had to endure. Once again, I keep saying this. And I want to say a lot of transgenders will always have to use the restroom and be discriminated against and have conflict and be under scrutiny for just using the restroom because they don't fit in the society's of what's normal. And I just want to let everyone know that it's not all easy peachy, like, oh, I got my marker changed, I'm good for the rest of my life. And in my mind, it's still not always like that. So, yep, that's going to be my little video. I hope y'all enjoyed, and if you, oh my god, this fan. And if y'all like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Please share it and get it out there, because I just really want people to know the issues of transgenders using the restroom, and that it's not fun. I've went through it. Other transgenders go through it every day. That when we use the restroom, we get discriminated against, and sometimes we get denied using the restroom in public, and it's not okay. So yeah, give this video a like, subscribe, and I hope to see y'all soon with more videos like this. Alright, T-dubs.